Hey, Star, this is me, Short Star, and I'm back. I hope you guys are having a great start of your new work week. And I got some stories I want to talk to you about and go over. And here we go. I am drinking a lemon drop today. I really do make a really good lemon drop. I know it sounds a little prissy, but it's simple, it's easy, tasteful. You know what I mean? So I'm good on that. I would like to start this video off mentioning rest in peace to Angie Stone and to Mr. Gene Hackman and his wife. I tell you guys, it used to be here today, gone tomorrow. It is here today, gone today. It's just what it is, seriously speaking. Um, and while I was going through that story, I came across a story of a um, hairstylist, celebrity hairstylist by the name of Jesus Guerrero. And the story goes, he accompanied um, J Lo to Dubai. This is a picture of Jesus Guerrero, pretty good looking guy. He was, like I said, a celebrity hairstylist. He has worked with J Lo. He has worked with Kylie Jenner. He's worked with a lot of people. So apparently, he was good at what he did. Okay, so back to his story. Um, it's been speculated that Jesus had traveled to Dubai to assist J Lo as part of her glam team, doing her hair, makeup, fashion stylist, that her group of her team. And apparently they went to Dubai to work on something. I don't quite know how long they were there, but apparently Jesus had started to feel bad while they were traveling to Dubai. So whatever it was didn't attack him in Dubai, but he was already allegedly feeling not himself, not feeling good. They arrive in Dubai, they begin to work, and he begins to get sicker and sicker. So allegedly, he was told by J Lo and the rest of the team to seek medical attention. Go see a doctor in Dubai. And him trying to work and still get the job done that he was hired to do, eventually went to see a doctor. And the doctor told him that he had pneumonia. And as it goes, allegedly, they did what was had to be done with J Lo was done there, and it was time to leave, either to go home or to move on to the next place, whatever she's promoting at this particular time. Okay, so they leave because he's unable to fly. The doctor, he's unable to travel. If you have pneumonia and something happens, they don't. The last place they want you is on an airplane at 30,000 feet with oxygen. Like it just, so he was unable to fly. And what's being said allegedly was that the team left. Now, I've worked in the industry, and I would feel that if this is just my opinion, it's alleged. This is me. If I was Jennifer Lopez with Jennifer Lopez's current fortune, right? Money. If you came and traveled to another country with me to work as part of my team, I would mostly feel responsible for you. Now, let's be clear. You're a grown adult. You know how to follow rules and regulations. So those things are on you. You're an adult. But as far as coming and going, traveling, where you sleep, those things would be on me, to make sure. I would just feel responsible. Nevertheless, and I'm getting the feeling that he wasn't just part of her team, they were friends, whatever that means. And like I said, if I was her and one of my team came up sick in another country, if they were unable to fly and yet the party had to continue, I had to move on to continue doing whatever it is I had to do, I would have done this. Set him up in a hotel for the time he needs to rest. And I probably would have flown in a family member, one of their family members, to be with them. Since, me and the team are leaving, we're moving on. So apparently that's what they did. And she didn't do that. And apparently his sister the hairstylist's sister posted that he had passed away in Dubai. Um, so of course people were up in arms thinking, wait, wasn't he there with J Lo? How could she leave him and this, that, and the third? I don't know the story. This is allegedly. I don't know how that went. But again, it may not have been her responsibility. It may be the agency that he was working for or working with. I don't know. I don't even know if they were really even friends. Or is it just a working, you know, relationship? I don't know. I don't know. But I'm just telling you what I would have done if I was her with the cash flow that she has. It would have meant nothing for me to rent a hotel for him to be there for another week and to fly one of his family members in to be with him. He is in a foreign country. You know what I mean? So I would have flown someone in to be with him and to fly back with him when he's able to fly. I could at least done that. Allegedly. This is what I'm saying. So the sister posts that he passed away and that she was doing a GoFundMe to have his body brought back to the United States and for services and things of the sort. And allegedly, from what I'm hearing, Kylie Jenner, who was actually friends with him, apparently he didn't just do her hair, they were actually friends. She picked up the bill for all of that, allegedly. That's what I'm hearing. And that's great. That's great. But he wasn't there working with Kylie Jenner. He was apparently, allegedly there working with J-Lo. I'm just giving you a second to think about it. But okay, nevertheless. So, that's what it is. Of course, I allegedly hear that J-Lo did some post on social media, tribute to him or whatever that is. And that's fine. I just wanted to let you guys know that everything you see isn't gold. And I can assure you, I can assure you from being around that a lot of people that you look up to, especially on social media, I'm finding more now. Like, we used to always have these rappers and their jewelry was rented, their cars were rented, the houses were rented. And when it was all said and done, and when the cameras would leave, they would go back home to their mother's basement. But yet you think that they're doing all the things that you've seen, the planes, the cars, and all those things, right? And that's fine. You kind of expect that. It's just what it is, But thing is, certain people have that money. There are certain people that have the money. And you can't always be sure. And especially on social media, everybody's beautiful. Everyone has a beautiful life. Everyone's doing well. Everyone is at the top of their game. That's BS. That's a lot of BS. Don't believe that. Everybody has hard times. Everybody has tough times. Everybody. I don't care what it is. And it's not always a financial thing. Some people have all the money, but they're not right up here. They have all the money, but they're not right over here. Their heart ain't right. Their mind isn't right. So I just say, live your life. Stop making gods of these people and putting all your trust in these people and traveling with these people thinking, oh, I'm in their entourage, and if something happens to me, they got me. Not necessarily. You're in the devil. Okay? I can also assure you that I wouldn't say all of you guys, but a lot of us live better than some of the people we look up to. And that's even financially. A lot of us live better than them because we don't have the pressures of not repeating our clothes. We don't have the pressures of driving a car we can't afford. We don't have the pressures of mostly living in a house that people would be ashamed of or is not up to what they think the standard should be. Because see, I've had a lot of people sometimes blow smoke up your butt. And I say that because anybody that knows me know it is what it is. I will show you parts of things. I can drive, I'll go through 3 cars and I haven't seen someone in a few years. And they're like, oh, you got another car? And I'm like, I've been through 3 cars since then. It's just me and my spouse and my partner, we like cars. We like jewelry. We like certain things, but we're not crazy and we're not going into debt for it either. Sure, we can drive a 3 or 4 year old car. It's not a problem. I don't have a problem. It's paid for. It's mine. I ain't got to worry about nobody waking up in the middle of the night, peeping out the window as they dragging my car out my driveway and down the block. No, thank you. No, ma'am. Um, Shame on you. And what I say is, I've had people put batteries in my back. I may mention to a friend, "Oh, I'm ready to change cars. I'm going to go out this weekend and look for a car." "Where are you going?" "To Jaguar." "Who are you going to?" "Bentley." What? No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I've had those days. Um, I've been around Range Rovers and Jaguars a long time. I, I'm not even going to go there because then it just seems like I'm bragging, and people that know me know what it is. It is what it is. I don't get impressed by all those things. And I drive what I can afford. And when something is paid for, I love it the most, to be really honest with you. And a lot of us live better than the people that we look up to as gods and different things. It's faketry, it's not all real. Just want to let you know that. And again, please don't forget to um, keep God first. Stay prayed up. Like seriously, we at a time where everything can aggravate you. We have an administration that's in office that's really get on your nerves with the antics, the different antics every day. Because every day is something different, and it's coming at you in all different directions. And sometimes you don't know what's more important than the next because all of it is affecting you one way or another, but you're trying not to let it ruin your day and take over. You know what I mean? But again, we've talked about how the next 4 years is going to be, and that we know. We don't know how bad it can actually get because we're not there. But when you're dealing with someone that's not dependable, you never know what their next move is going to be. You never know what they're going to do. You just have to stay prayed up and you have to believe in something. I'm not saying you have to believe in the same higher power that I do, but you have to believe in something, people. We do. You have to have something to make you want to get up every day and do the same thing over and over again. Something has to be there. Okay, so we've talked about. So again, I just wanted to say rest in peace to this hairstylist. I'm sorry, um, Jesus Guerrera. Rest in peace to him and his family and his fans. Because from what I understand, he was really good at what he did. That's why he had the clientele that he had. But I just say sometimes let's not put all our faith and energy into these humans. They're human just like us. And we could be here for the next 2 hours talking about all the plane incidents, flying incidents that have occurred since the beginning of this new year. And mind you, we are now in March. Okay? We're only in March. So I can't go over all the individual incidents because guess what? As of February 17th, now we're at the beginning of March. So now it's actually 2 weeks after February 17th, right? But as of February 17th, 2025, there had been 87 aviation incidents and accidents reported in the US. Okay? We've had four major aviation disasters claiming the lives of 85 people. We're only in March. Um, what I find weird is that now the U.S. government is now hell bent on convincing us, the American citizens, that flying is the safest transportation around. And I mean, you're going to have a problem convincing most of us because, first off, before this new administration took office, I didn't remember this many incidents. And they took office on January 20th. We're now at the beginning of March. So I'm going to be fair. From January 1st to now, I'm not even going to say from January 20th. From January 1st, the first of the new year, until now, we've had 87 to 100 aviation accidents and incidents reported. And quite a few of those were crashes that claimed lives. So let me get this straight. We've had 100 incidents of accidents from every airline that we've had, pretty much. You know, Delta, Spirit. It's just go on and on. So it's not like quarantined to one. No, it's happened across the board. It's commercial airliners. It's private planes. It's helicopters. It's military helicopters. It's like across the board. So I want to know, how do you convince us that, oh, they give you this percentage? Oh, it's 7% out of, okay. Or they'll tell you it's 10 out of 2,035,000. That's five. It's still 10. And I don't want to be that in that number of 10. It's weird. And let me tell you this, since the aviation issues, and this is the biggest thing, right? The Trump administration is currently, right now, under scrutiny for letting hundreds of probationary FAA employees go, fired, only weeks after the deadliest US crash in nearly a quarter of a century. He still decided to get rid of hundreds, not 100, hundreds of probationary FAA employees, meaning in training, air traffic controllers, just across the board, but they're for the FAA. They're about our safety for flying. How do you lay off hundreds of FAA employees, but yet have over 100 accidents and incidents in the US in a matter of 2 months, and you're still laying off hundreds? This is more of the same. So now it's getting to the point where you have to make your own conclusions, and you have to decide for yourself and your family. And right now, I'm not flying. Normally, right now, I'll be booked for a flight. Seriously, most people that know me know when I start vacationing, and I would be booked already for our flight out of the country somewhere. And right now, it's not happening. Right now, if it's not a family emergency and I can't reach it by car, that would be the only thing that would make me get on a plane at this point. I have a dear cousin, like a sister to me. She just came back from India, from a trip to India, and I was worried about her. But, again, you have to believe in something. And I believe in God, and I believe that He's going to cover us. But I mean, you can't be silly and crazy, too. Okay? You're going to have to pick your poison. Either you're stupid or you're crazy. I can't blame you for being stupid, and I can't blame you for being crazy, but you got to know better to do better, period. So right now, me and my family, we are not flying. We actually talked about vacationing with some friends in the past week or so, and we said we would get back to it in another month. We want to see where everything is going. We didn't even want to set any place in stone. We said we'll come back and revisit this in another month or so. Okay, so with that being said, going back to New York, I find it weird, right, that the former governor of New York City, Andrew Cuomo, has decided to run for mayor. Repeat. Former governor who stepped down in 2021 amid scandals, sexual scandals, and different things, has now threw his hat in the race and announced that he will be running for mayor. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't live in New York, but I'm from New York, born and bred, and I can't vote in New York. So I know you're saying, what difference does it make? But it does make a difference, because you know what? I'm a person of a certain age, and I know that we've been hearing the Cuomo name for decades here in New York, meaning his father, his brother, or him. Now, his father was governor. I don't know how many terms he was governor, but I believe it was more than one. But again, that's allegedly. I believe it was more than one. And then Andrew, the son, becomes governor. And aren't you guys tired of the same political government running this city? And you keep complaining that no one's there and they're not sticking with you. And the city's going to hell. How about doing something different to get a different outcome? You're going for the same. You have his father. How many? I don't know how many. I don't know. I don't even care how many um, times he ran for governor and was governor. I know it was long enough that we knew who he was. We knew who his brother was. We knew who he is. It's more of the same, and we need you need some new blood. You need new blood. I mean, we've been hearing of the Mayor Koch. Remember? Then it was Mayor Dinkins, first Black African American mayor. Um, didn't have a lot of power. Very wealthy man, but didn't have a no, wasn't very wealthy. Sorry, but he had wealth. But I mean, he got the city, and he was the first African American mayor, and it wasn't but so much he can do in one term, and that moved on. Now we have our second um, African American mayor, and I think there's issues in the federal part of the politics, and I think there's definitely issues in the city sector of politics. And I mean, a lot is going on. This administration and the mayor of New York now, most of them jumped ship. And now this Black African American mayor New York has now, he's calling what was he calling them? I forgot what he called African Americans that listen, regardless, you're gonna have to do something different to get something different. Listening to these same names over and over, over and over, over and over. He stepped down as governor 4 years ago in 2021 amid scandals, period. Scandals. Here he goes now. We didn't hear much from him. So now 4 years later, who used to be our governor is now running for, well, who used to be New York's governor is now running for New York mayor. I think you guys need to find somebody that's not heard of, that doesn't have a great, huge family name behind it, because apparently it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. This is just something I'm stating. This morning I was watching the news and I did see an African American woman. I want to say that she's a delegate from Queens, but nevertheless, supposedly she's supposed to be possibly throwing her hat in to be mayor. She's by the end of the week, I think she's said that she'll make an agreement. I don't know her name at the moment, but I will get it and we'll bring it back to you. But it was something new. It was something new. You can't say, oh my God, we don't know what she's going to do. You already know what these other ones are doing. And they do it to you as governor. Now they want to come back and do it to you as mayor. Like, come on, really. So I just want you guys to know that, come on, guys. Come on. You got to do something different to get a different outcome. And that's just a point blank period. Okay. Now, I know a lot of us, like I said, I'm not flying anywhere. So then other people are now driving, taking trains, cruise ships. Now, this is the third cruise ship that I found just doing some research that has returned back to port. Now, this is the third, but this is the last one I'm speaking of. This cruise ship had to dock in Florida with 158 passengers that had the norovirus. So this is what I'm saying, how the government is trying to convince us it's safe to fly. Now they want to convince us it's safe to get on these cruise ships. Yeah, these cruise ships, seriously speaking, they're big as cities. They're little floating cities, granted. Okay, fine. They could be, but they're not. Okay. And once you're in the middle of the ocean, you're trapped. They can quarantine people, but where do you go? You're still on the ship. Okay, so they quarantined these 158 people that came down with the norovirus. Okay, now it was 148 passengers out of 2,057 that caught the virus, and there were 10 crew members out of 834 that caught the virus. Altogether, 158 had the virus. So they quarantined them someplace on the ship, and they required pretty much everyone else to go back to their cabins. until they can figure out what the next plan was. And the next plan was they docked in Florida. Now, this was a 10-day cruise, or supposed to be around the Caribbean. And I don't know what day everything kicked into it, but at some point it was cut short and it docked in Florida. Um, this is like the third cruise ship that I've heard of with this norovirus and, having to return back to docks or wherever. Well, the norovirus is as commonly referred as a stomach flu. It's highly contagious and causes symptoms such as vomiting, diarrhea, body aches and pains. And if you have any underlying issues, it can mean death. It depends on what that is. And you don't want to go through something like this in the middle of the ocean with a very limited medical staff and things, and have 158 people have the same thing you have. Staff, your medical staff, I'm sure the medical staff on the ship isn't more than 10. Pretty much guaranteed. It's probably not more than 10, and it probably doesn't have more than 2 doctors. So there's a lot to do. So be careful out there. The cruises, I personally haven't, I like cruises and we've been on cruises, but I want to cruise, but I just feel that it's still too early after the COVID-19. I still think it's time. It's like time to chill and take it easy. And I don't want to be trapped one place. It's bad enough we're getting on these planes with this recirculated air for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And it depends if you're going to Hawaii, straight flight, 12 hours. You're breathing in the same air. It's bad enough we're doing that, but to be on a cruise ship, nah, I'm good on that. But again, I want you guys to know, the more you know, the further you'll go, and you'll know how to deal with it. You have to make your own decisions. Okay, so how do I say this? Do you guys remember, like, during the pandemic or right before, when they started to allow people to travel again, we had started hearing about American citizens dying in other countries, like falling asleep, or they rented an Airbnb and someone finally checks on them and find the whole family deceased and stuff. And they would say at that point that it probably was like carbon monoxide poisoning and things of those sort. Well, I heard of quite a few of those stories during the pandemic and when the pandemic ended. And I had to remind my friends that this is still happening and that regulations in different countries are different. Even the way structures are built, they are different. When I say that they're different, meaning they have different standards. And, and I say that to say, when we go out of the country, which I've done, and you go out and you rent these Airbnbs and these homes, you don't know how they're upkept. You don't know how they're maintained. And just because you see a carbon monoxide thing on a thing with a fire extinguisher on the side, you're like, oh, they're doing. You have to understand that a lot of regulations are not the same. And I reminded my friends, my group, years ago, that these are portable carbon monoxide. Look at my hand. It fits in my hand. Carbon monoxide detectors that I take since after the pandemic and these deaths have started. I don't care if it's out of the country or in the country. I take this when I walk into my room. I hit this button and I put it on the dresser, and it does what it's supposed to do. If there's any gas leaks or anything that, as far as carbon monoxide, it will alert me. I don't depend on the resort or the owner of this Airbnb, who probably haven't been here since it was brought. No, thank you. Because most people that own Airbnbs have someone taking care of it and maintaining it. And like I said, different countries have different regulations, and that's why you get these deaths in different countries, because things happen. Well, okay, so I came across the story about these 3 young ladies who were found dead at a beach resort in Belize. Okay, these are the 3 beautiful young ladies. Like I said, 3 American women found dead at beach resort in Belize. And what I noticed was, with the carbon monoxide poisoning and things that have been going on for a while, The first thing they stated was 3 American women were found dead over the weekend in a beach resort of Belize. Police said Monday, and officials were investigating the deaths as possible drug overdoses, meaning they could have gotten some bad drugs out there. I don't know what the situation is. They're not really giving that much information because of the way I believe that I'm not sure this is allegedly, but I'm believing that they're possibly Indian because the names are I'm not even going to try to mess up their names at all. That's how off the charts they are. One of the women was 23, the other was 24, and the third was 26. So, again, these women were found deceased at a resort, the Royal Cahal Beach Resort in Belize. And they're waiting to find out what it was. They assuming that it's not carbon monoxide. So they're thinking that it's a drug overdose, and that could very well be possible. Allegedly, if it was that, then they all took the same drug, then they all have the same outcome. So listen, guys, I know a lot of my friends have kids and kids of age where they're traveling alone and they have a little boyfriend or girlfriend and they're traveling, it could be Miami, it could be LA, it could be Vegas, it can be anywhere. Some of them are going out the country to Mexico and Puerto Rico. Well, Puerto Rico's here, but Mexico and hell, some of them are going to Greece. Let's be clear. Try to talk to your kids, your younger kids that are just starting to travel out of the country or traveling outside of the family on their own. Please, people, seriously, get them portable carbon monoxide detectors. My group would tell you, I got fanatical about these when we started traveling after the pandemic, when we were allowed to travel after that. This was one of the first things I picked up. You can get these from Amazon. I know we're picketing and staying away from different places, but seriously, you can get these things on Amazon for like $20 to $25, and they even come smaller than this. That's what I'm saying. They come smaller than this, but this is a size that trust. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't actually trust one that's maybe this size. You know what I mean? I don't know. Give me a little chunkiness, and she works. So again, just little things. I mean, when it's our time, it's our time. We're written in the book of life. So I just have to say, but there are things that we can do. And my grandmother always used to say, you can believe in God, but God is not going to do for you what you can do for yourself. And there's a certain things we have to take responsibility. Those of us that are cognitively great, where we have everything that's working properly or to what it needs to be. How about that? We have common sense. We know right from wrong. Do little things to protect yourself. Carbon monoxide poisoning. When you go out of the country as a group, get an idea together of how you're going to travel. And when you're not there, you're on vacation, but you're leaving your phone in your room. No. Put your phone in you can easily be separated from your group and from your people for any reason. Any reason. It could be a fire could break out in your resort and they're just pushing people in certain areas. You don't have no communication, no phone, no nothing. Listen, teach your kids the right way of traveling, how to travel, how to lock up your passports in the safe. Don't leave them in your suitcases. Just do things and not become a victim. Listen, guys, I love you. I want you guys to be intentional. I want you guys to be informed. And listen, it is what it is. We got a long 4 years coming. I love you guys, and be intentional and be safe. I love you guys. See you soon.